the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
What's up, y'all? It's your favorite FBI agent, first responder, Demetrius Brown, aka Dog Count Meach, and today I'm going to be telling you about the murder that happened at Kenwood Academy High School. It's a lot that happened, but I don't feel like this is the right attire for right now, so I'm gonna hit the yak and I'm gonna be right back for y'all. What's up, y'all? And I'm finished hitting that yak. Now I could really break down the crime to y'all step by step, really let y'all know what happened, what I seen, what transpired though. So it all started when I received a call from my old mentor, Oliver Speller, at 8:30 a.m. at Kenwood Academy High School, reporting a murder event. Under the circumstances, it was a little sad to see him like that, but it was still good to see the old man. You know, much love, real missed. When I arrived, even I wasn't ready for the psychotic bloodbath that I was awaiting in that room. From first glance, I saw two deceased male, one with a gunshot wound to the back of his head and one that seemed to have been killed from asphyxiation. With the state that the crime scene was in, fresh, I just seen it, I knew that I had to bring up in my amazing forensic science team to help me collect all this evidence. As I waited for my team to arrive, I viewed the layout of Speller's back room and determined that a customized grid pattern would be best to collect the evidence that I was looking for. Once my team arrived, I placed them into two groups on opposite sides of the crime scene, and the things that they found will shock you. Within the first few minutes, one of my cohorts found a bullet shell casing that can safely be assumed it belonged to a .45 Winchester Magnum due to the bullet design. We were also able to find hair on one of the victims that helped us tremendously, and you'll see how later on. Just wait. Be a little patient, y'all. Within time, me and my forensic science team was able to find the murder weapon covered in blood within a cabinet, but we knew there was more to the crime than what the eye can see. This led us to bring in our black lights expert, and with their amazing skills, they were able to find hidden evidence such as a message and a fingerprint that unfortunately couldn't help us in this case. There's one thing a wise man told me when I was young, and it stuck with me throughout my FBI career until now. He basically told me that blood always tells a story, and all you have to do is look at that blood to really unravel that story. Due to the blood caused from the gunshot wound to the back of the head, there were a few noticeable footprints, and it became clear that these two men were not the only people in the room during the time of this murder. Walking out of the room, there were very noticeable footprints belonging to a boot. Considering the brand of the shoe and the size of the shoe, it pushed my team to believe that the boot could have possibly belonged to a female of a young age. This murder is more so definitely up on the gruesome side for me. And when me and my team decided to bring in a black lights expert pertaining to the message, it kind of shifted our thinking as in how we could approach our potential suspects or how we could go about our investigations. Something that I kind of wanted to place into my investigations was manipulation and kind of a mental mind game. Considering that the note was left on the door, it kind of hinted to me that the person could have potentially wanted to be caught or had no concern of being caught. That kind of swayed me to try to use their mental mind state against them during my investigations. With the help of the amazing customized grid, my forensics teams, and many hours given a thorough search, me and my group were able to conjure a list of potential suspects that goes to Kenwood, but also one consistent of people that more so had access to the back room of Speller, no matter if the crime occurred day or night. That'll be all from your wonderful agent. Thank you for your time. Adios, y'all.
Hi, my name is Deontay Parnell, and my role in this case is the forensic scientist. I will be explaining explaining all the evidence that we collected and explaining the evidence that connects our suspect to the crime, which is Crystal Riley. Our main evidence connecting the suspect to the crime is hair. There was hair left at the crime scene, so I collected and examined it. I seen that the hair was very similar to a few people in our class, so my team and I collected the hair and I examined those samples. I ultimately found that Crystal's hair and the hair from the crime scene was identical. Her father, which was the main victim, was asphyxiated. You could tell this from the blood around his mouth and his eyes being black, meaning that the blood vessels popped. The second victim, which was her boyfriend, was shot in the back of the head. And the blood spatter and the brains on the wall indicated that the person that committed the crime was shorter than them and pretty close. You could tell that the person that did the crime was shorter than them because the blood spatter and the brains went up above the height of the victim, and then you could tell that they were pretty close because the burn marks on the back of their head were very concentrated, and how the blood spatter was sprayed. Before being choked to death, her father was hit with a hammer in the back of the head, and you could tell this from the brains being underneath him on the floor. He was also a retired veteran, meaning he had access to firearms, which is how her boyfriend was able to get shot in the first place.
All right, my name is Ravel Frazier, the forensic architect, and let's start off by pointing out the first body right over here. All right, with this body right here, you can see that a person was apparently cleaning up when they was attacked and hit unexpectedly with some sort of weapon. So with this body here, you can see that he was hit with something real serious. You can see he has a lot of blood under his body. Blood splatters everywhere. You got the footprints right over here too, which also indicating that there was a third person involved in this crime scene. Also indicating that the third person that was involved left the scene and possibly did this murder. Next, we have the shell casing that we spotted right here. This shell casing tells us that there was a gun involved, and most likely the second body was impacted by this shell casing due to the amount of blood that was on his body. Then we have a few little blood splatters everywhere, and that's pretty much the whole crime scene right here. All right, this is the second part of the crime scene. We went inside some cabinets, found the hammer with blood on it, which tells us what the second victim was most likely hit with. Next, we found a message left behind on the door under the light. It left a message saying, "Thank you, Dad." We also peeped at the wall by the door had brains on it and blood left on it, which confirmed that the second body was the body hit with the bullet due to the fact that it's closer to the door. And that's the end to that.
Hey man, so what you got going on, bro? You cool? Beating up on her like that, bro? That's my girl, bro. Is you cool?
That's my daughter, bro.
That's your daughter.
I do what I want. That's my daughter.
Yeah, that's your daughter. Nah.
Take it, huh? Get him!
This is what you doing? You getting people up on you? This what you doing? Yeah.
All right, cut real quick. Y'all get the cleaning up.
Yeah.
All right, clean up. Make sure you got everything.
Yeah. All right, come on, man. Make sure everything up, man. Man, I can't believe this, man. I ain't gonna lie,
You
man.
knew he was abusing me, okay? You knew we was gonna do this. We talked about this before. What you think was gonna happen?
It was in the moment. I'm sorry.
You agreed to it. We already here. There's nothing else you can do.
But it's just
There's
too much.
nothing else you can do. You
I don't
told
know.
me.
But you killed him. I only hit him. I'm not ready to go to jail.
We've been talking about this though.
I don't think that.
You agreed to it. You knew he was abusing me for years.
But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, this all you. Look.
No,
Look,
no, you can't do that to me. No.
No. Look, this is who? Your father. I hope you enjoy your life with your father, even though he's gone. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Kyla Reed, and I'm the pathologist for the case. Once I viewed the first victim's body, I immediately realized the wound to the back of the head, the bloodshot eyes, and the bruising around the neck. Once I did a more thorough search, both internal and external, I realized that the wound to the back of the head was blunt force trauma caused by an external force that was hard and fast-paced moved. This also affected the cerebellum. The cerebellum is a part of the brain that focuses on balance and muscle control, and once this was damaged, the victim fell. This also gave the suspect time to choke them, lowering their oxygen levels, and ultimately suffocating him, which the cause of death was asphyxiation. This also caused the bloodshot eyes. While examining the second victim's body, I noticed the wound to the back of the head. I proceeded to do another internal examination and came to the conclusion that this victim was shot through the back of the head with a .45 automatic gun through the parietal lobe of the brain, and the exit wound was through the frontal lobe. While the chances of surviving a gunshot wound to the head is higher from front to back rather than side to side, the size of the bullet and the time that the victim was laying there is important to take into fact. The cause of the death is the gunshot wound to the head and bleeding out.
Hi, my name is Adi Borden. I am the forensic psychologist assigned to this case. A 17-year-old female who was brought in for an evaluation following her participation in the murder of her boyfriend and father. Crystal displayed behavior and provided information during interrogation that raised concerns about her psychological state. Based on the observations and thorough investigation of evidence, it is in my professional opinion that Crystal Riley exhibited traits consistent with what was traditionally referred to as sociopath behavior. It is important to note that the term sociopath is not used in clinical diagnosis, but for this evaluation, it provides a framework for understanding her mental state. Crystal's upbringing in an abusive household likely contributed significantly to the development of her sociopath behavior. The following traits are notable in her case: ignoring social norms and laws, impulsivity and lack of planning, aggressive behavior, disregard for personal safety, and lack of guilt or remorse. Despite admitting to the murder of her father and boyfriend, Crystal displayed little to no signs of remorse and empathy during interrogation process. Similar to also, Crystal's actions, including the murders of her loved ones, demonstrated a disregard for societal norms and legal boundaries. Her impulsiveness was very clear in the investigation, but also it was evident in her actions as she acted with not considering the consequences for her actions. Given the severity of Crystal's actions and the underlying trauma she experienced from her father, I recommend further evaluation by mental health professionals specializing in trauma-informed care. Treatment should focus on addressing her history of abuse, managing her impulsive tendencies, but also her relationship with male people in her life. Crystal should undergo risk assessments to determine the level of danger she poses to herself and others. Intervention should prioritize safety while also addressing her psychological needs. This case gives us a lot of complexities. The evidence in which we evaluated from the crime scene does not indicate to us that this is a person who was born with abnormal genetic personality disorders, but had experiences in her life that resulted in her acting in this manner or acting in a way in which developed personality disorders over time.
Hi everyone, my name is Larry Pipes and I am the prosecuting attorney in this murder case. Before I get into sentencing, I'm going to say a few details about the case. Our main suspect of the case was Crystal Riley, and upon our second interrogation of Riley, she confessed to the crime. I like your bracelets. That's cute. Can I see yours? Yeah. Where you get this one from?
My boyfriend.
Your boyfriend. You know, that's crazy. You know, one of our victims, they got that same bracelet on. So, I'm gonna ask you one more time. How do you know the deceased?
My boyfriend. The other morning. And was
self-defense. So I killed my dad. I choked him out. Well, I had my boyfriend hit him upside the head with a hammer, and then I choked him out. Suffocated him. And then my boyfriend tried to back out, so I shot him in the back of his head. But it was self-defense. My dad had been abusing me since I was a little girl, and I felt like I had no other choice but to kill him. So kill him.
And you felt like this was your only way? Okay. So one more time, let's go over that.
No, look. They're too close. So, y'all go in the room to do it? Because y'all in the middle of the hallway. So they just asked
So one more time.
y'all got nothing to do there?
Wednesday, was it Wednesday afternoon? Thursday morning?
Excuse me, I'm fighting for my freedom like I'm giving this up.
And my dad was under.
Can you walk me through that day?
Well, me and my boyfriend talking or whatever. They were already in the back room. They were having a chat, and he hit him with the hammer. And I came in and saw he was on the ground, so I choked him out. Then my boyfriend tried to get out of it, but he knows what my dad's been doing to me for years. So I shot him.
And where did you get the gun from?
Well, my dad's a retired veteran, so I had access to a gun, which is probably why he abused me for so many years, because of the PTSD.
She states that she was facing abuse from her father, who had been abusing her from a little girl. I suspect the abuse stemmed from his PTSD as a war veteran, as she claims that he is a veteran. She explained that she felt that murdering her father was her only way out of the cycle of abuse she was facing, and then planned the murder with her then boyfriend. Her boyfriend confronted her father after school on Wednesday and hit him upside the head with a hammer. Riley then came in and finished the job by strangling him to death. After seeing the result of the murder, her boyfriend no longer wanted anything to do with the murder and tried to leave, explaining to Riley that she was on her own. As he tried to leave out the door, she shot him point blank in the back of the head and then wrote a message saying, "Thanks, Dad," on the door. I believe that Riley was mentally unsure of what to do from the abuse of her father. And I'm sure that Riley did not intend to kill her boyfriend, yet she did premeditate the killing of her father. Although there were other methods she could have foresaw, she could have went to the police. She could have asked for help. Yet I believe she felt that she was between a rock and a hard place. And for that, she has to attend therapy in order to explain her mental to a shrink, in order to get a better understanding of her thought process. As stated by our forensic psychologist, Crystal Riley is an assumed sociopath. She does not know how to function normally in society. She doesn't have normal emotions and does not follow social norms, as we can see by this cold-blooded murder she just committed. She showed little to no remorse for murdering her father, stating that that was the only way she could escape abuse, although there were other methods she could have followed. Specifically, she could have reached out at school for help if she was able to tell her boyfriend to plan a murder and help her kill her father. But instead she didn't. She decided to follow through with the plan. And when her boyfriend no longer wanted to go along with it, she decided he had to go as well. For this, I have decided to charge Crystal Riley with first-degree murder and second-degree murder. For the first-degree murder charge, she must serve the rest of her natural life in the penitentiary. For the second-degree murder charge, she must serve an additional 25 years consecutively to that natural life sentence. Because the murder of her boyfriend was off of adrenaline and not originally planned, that will be a second-degree murder charge. Along with serving her sentence, she must also attend mandatory shrink sessions and sessions with a therapist so we can understand how she got to this point mentally. We can understand how to further work with other sociopaths in order to see if they are able to be rehabilitated and put back into society. But for now, Crystal Riley will be sentenced life along with 25 years in the state of Illinois penitentiary. Thank you.